how this all works. And if YouTube is a little low, by the time we come back after our break, we'll put another microphone on YouTube there. But let's go with what we got right now. Okay?
So Mayor, set the scene for us here. Game two.
Game number two. The Yankees have switched around their lineup. They have Bader batting first. Now that's an interesting switch because Bader's a good hitter. He's a contact hitter. That's probably why he's up first. But he's also a home run hitter. So, and he's had the most home runs in the playoffs, 4. I'd say he was the MVP of the series with the Guardians. But they're looking for more pop at the beginning of the lineup, which they weren't getting out of Gleyber Torres. So this is being done to put up somebody who can get on base. And he's already taken 2 balls, which is an early sign that he's the right choice, but who knows? I mean, there are a lot of things that go into this. We're going to have to see. He just swings and grounds it to short, and he'll be out by easy 5 steps, 1 down.
Thanks
That was a hard hit ground ball, but it was right at the first baseman, right at the third baseman, who made a great throw to first. So Valdez is on the mound for the Astros. Let's say he hasn't had the best playoff record, but who cares right now? I mean, those things go out every game. Every game's a new game for these guys. I mean, past performance, I don't know if you can go by that too much. So Judge is up now. He already has a ball on him. He struck out a lot in this series. Of course, he's gotten 2 big home runs. That's ball 2, low, really low, in the dirt. Don't know if he's this early in the game pitching around Judge. I don't know if that wouldn't be such a bad idea, actually. You just don't want the Yankees to go out to a lead if you can help it. Valdez is a left-handed pitcher. There's a ball hit very, very hard to center field, but it's going to be caught by the center fielder, who actually went down to get it. Must have misjudged it a bit going back. But he hit a long one to the deepest part of this ballpark. I would imagine center field is the deepest part. I don't know it as well as Yankee Stadium, but it looks to be the deepest part. Although it didn't quite make the track. So I wouldn't call it a near home run by any means. So now we have Giancarlo Stanton, who's been moved around to the 3rd position. He's batting 200 in this postseason. He's got 2 home runs, which is what he's got to do, and but he's got to hit more. I mean, Judge usually makes up for it with walking, but unfortunately, he's been striking out quite a bit in this particular game. Valdez now has gotten through 2 men, and he looks pretty sharp. I just think he got a gift call by the umpire. The ball was clearly inside. It must have been. I mean, if those boxes mean anything, I assume they do. If those boxes mean anything, it was outside the box, which should mean it's a ball. But it was called a strike, 0-2, and as a ground ball, it's going to be fielded by the second base, and he's out. That's it. Altuve made a nice play on that. It was a kind of a high bounce that he had to be careful with, but he played it well. And the Yankees go, unfortunately, 3 up and 3 down.
Well, Mayor, we are now for the first time tonight live streaming on YouTube. You have over 100 people watching live and a whole bunch of comments.
Is YouTube together now?
YouTube, we are on YouTube, yes. We have somebody suggesting that we put Mayor Rudy at third base tonight. How would you do at third base?
I only played third occasionally as a catcher and a first baseman.
I think probably as a coach.
It wasn't bad as a third baseman. You know, most first basemen and catchers can play third base. Did you know that? I don't know if you did know that.
Repeat that?
I'm going to tell you little things about baseball that you probably don't know, only because they come from years and years and years of playing and watching.
So why are third basemen and catchers interchangeable?
Well, first of all, they're not very. Neither are very fast. Usually, they do a pretty good job of catching the ball, right? So a third baseman doesn't need a great deal of range. He needs a good arm. If you don't have a good arm, you better not catch. I mean, you better find something else to do rather than catch. Maybe you should play tiddlywinks or something, but definitely not catch. So you have the good arm. If you're a good athlete, you can play third. If you're not as good, if you're not as rangy, I shouldn't say good athlete. What I should say is if you're not as rangy, then they'll put you at first. Or if you don't have a good arm. So, although Yogi Berra, the greatest catcher on the Yankees ever, some people would say Bill Dickey, but I'd say Yogi, but Yogi was my hero. Yogi Berra played third base, he played he played catcher, and he also played left field. Played left field a lot. In fact, in the famous Mazeroski home run that the Pittsburgh Pirates hit off the New York Yankees, it's one of the 10, 15 most famous home runs in baseball. Yogi was the left fielder for the Yankees that day. Elston Howard was behind the plate. So when you watch the replay of the Mazeroski home run and you see number 8 in left field, that's the Hall of Fame Yankee catcher, Yogi Berra. Watching the ball go out. Probably not his favorite replay. So now we have Altuve up. And this is the strangest thing, and I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say this. I'm going to look and be sure I'm right. I find this very difficult to believe. But Altuve in this postseason is batting 0-0-0. This is a 300 hitter. This is one of the best hitters in baseball. This is a small man. I don't mean to be derogatory in any way, but he's a slight man who's got unbelievable power. I mean, he's not quite Judge, but he's just about everybody else. I mean, he can put the ball out. There's a ground ball to short, played beautifully by Falefa, which I find hard to pronounce. But I have to make sure that he's at shortstop today. Let's look at the Yankee lineup there. I want to see the Yankees. Who's at shortstop for the Yankees? Let's see. They put Peraza at short. Probably looking for a little more of a bat. Although he's batting 0-0-0. The Yankee batting averages are pretty pathetic. Bader is probably batting first because he's batting 250.
Mrs. Kelly in the
And
chat.
Rizzo is batting 316.
Sorry, Mrs. Kelly in the chat asks, she's a Red Sox fan, so do I get kicked out now?
No, absolutely
stay
not.
on?
We have Dr. Maria here watching the game with us. She's a Red Sox fan. All she's interested in is what Pedro has to say.
Yes.
But, you know, she's a Red Sox fan, but she's an American League fan, which always led me to root for the Red Sox when they got there because they're in the Eastern Division in the American League. So if I were you, I would be rooting for the Yankees. They're in the same division as your team. But, I mean, that's up to you. But it's baseball. You gotta love baseball. It doesn't matter if it's the Yankees or the Red Sox. I mean, they do have the best rivalry historically. This one here between the Yankees and the Astros is kind of bitter because of the situation in 19 with the cheating. Severino is on the mound, by the way, for the Yankees, and he just threw a beautiful, beautiful pitch. I think it was a fastball. It completely fooled the hitter. I mean, he just completely, basically threw it, couldn't find it. Yankee outfield is, left field is Cabrera, and center field is Bader, and of course right field is Judge. That's the outfield tonight, and Stanton is the DH who played left field last night. There's a strike on the outside corner by Severino. So Alvarez is up. He is another terrific hitter, a left-handed hitter, which gives him a bit of an advantage in Yankee Stadium. And so I would say at 1-1, we're probably going to go outside. It looks that way. That was a heck of a cut. That was a home run cut by Alvarez. He just missed that ball by, I can't tell you what, not by much. Alvarez is at the plate, left-handed hitter. Severino swings, and another strikeout for Severino. Nice inning. So we can say, like, they got to say 3 up, 3 down. Now, I don't know if you listened last week when we covered Severino, but made the point that he has a hard time getting started. Severino is a pitcher like the great pitcher for the Astros last night, who has a hard time getting started. Meaning, when you get to him in the first inning and the second inning. So Severino got through the first inning without a problem.
Mayor, we have a request from a person here on the YouTube live chat, and the name on here is One Goal 1,000 subscribers, but that's the name of the person, and they're asking, Mayor Rudy, could I please get a hi? I will brag about this for the rest of the year.
And what's his name?
His name is One Goal 1,000 subscribers. So
One Goal 1,000 subscribers.
Sometimes you have a name, Mr.
Hello. And I hope that wasn't your baptismal name, or if you're a Christian. I mean, that would have been tough on the priest and minister. But okay. Hello, how are you?
Another person writes,
Are you enjoying the game? Yet. Nothing's happened yet. We got 1 inning has gone by. We've got no runs, no hits, no errors by both teams.
Another person writes, Rudy, hero.
Oh, I like that person. I mean, that's very nice. I've got here on Getter, I've got the Trump. Got a whole bunch of people say the Trump card.
I love baseball, Roy Schrader. Pete Rose. Somebody's asking what your opinion is on Pete Rose.
One of the greatest players ever, without any doubt. The guy could spark up a whole team and win a game that way. I think it was unfortunate that he got involved in whatever kind of betting he got involved in. But
should he be in the Hall of Fame?
the answer is unequivocal yes. Unequivocal yes. He should be in the Hall of Fame. There's no proof he ever bet against his team. Whatever he did is a long time ago. He's apologized for it. He's made up for it. It doesn't take away from a career that was magnificent. Same thing with the steroid people. They should be in the Hall of Fame if they deserve it based on their non-steroid part of their career. What they shouldn't have is the records. The record for home runs should be Judge, and that's not just because he's a Yankee. I thought that before Judge had the record, because I thought it was unfair to honest young ball players to have to beat a record run the history of baseball, and then a whole bunch of them juicing themselves up hit 70 home runs. That was home runs that were produced illegally. At the time, the substances they were using violated the rules of baseball. And not that we care about that anymore. Unfortunately, we should and we will again. But they were also illegal. So I don't see rewarding performance-enhancing drug users by giving them records that nobody else can break unless they break the law. Doesn't make any sense. But baseball often does it. Major League Baseball, this will not ingratiate myself with them. It doesn't make sense very often. Their embrace of Black Lives Matter truly infuriated me. And their movement of the All-Star game from Atlanta was about one of the biggest suck-ups that ever existed. They should be embarrassed. Cost Atlanta $100 million on completely false allegations of some kind of unfair election law, which is a lot more accommodating to voting than the law in Delaware, Biden's home state, or the law in the commissioner's home state, which I think is New York. I mean, it's a mindless decision contributing to the mindless age in which we live. Baseball should be better than that. So there you go. Like the commissioner, interviewed him once. Terrible decision. Then embracing cop killers. No way. Black Lives Matter or cop killers? Want to debate it sometime? How about pigs in a blanket? Fry them like bacon at every protest.
Be fun. Fun.
Hello from Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Now, Dr. Maria is singing the Canadian national anthem at this point. 2 balls,
That's all I got.
2 strikes. Rizzo, who's got their best batting average, is at the plate. It is the top of the second inning, and there's nobody out. Rizzo took a low pitch for ball 3. Rizzo seems pretty disciplined, and he is up there looking for a strike to hit. But it looks to me like, being the leadoff batter, he should be more than willing to take a walk, which aren't going to be given up easily. Well, he swung at that one, and he should have. It was a ball over the plate. He fouled it off to the left side. Pitch count, okay right now. 17. It could be better from the Astros' point of view, but that's not bad. Yankees are pretty good at getting your pitch count up because they take pitchers. That ball is hit. It's hit hard, but it's hit right at the first baseman, and that's 1 away. Second hard hit ball, one to the left side, one to the right side, but neither one of them was hit any place where it could get out of the infield. And both of them, I guess you could look at it from the other point of view, were played beautifully. Both Yankees hit the ball precisely where the Astros scouted them to hit, which is what happens when you do this, shift on the infield. You watch a player, you see the percentage of times they hit to the right side, the left side, all the statistics. Man, you got to be a genius. But then, of course, eventually it comes down to hand-eye coordination, doesn't it? You got to have the brilliant, unbelievable hand-eye coordination to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, which people say is the hardest thing to do in sports. Stand up there sometime and watch it coming at you. See if you stay there. Whew. One of the reasons pitchers throw inside is for that reason. Because I don't care, even if you're a major league player, when it gets up like, when it gets up to 96, 97, and they move you back off the plate, it takes a heck of a guy to come back right in the same spot. So right now there's 1 out. You haven't had a base runner yet for either team. but we're only in the top of the second. Both of them started off last night scoring early. But let's see what happens here.
Live. Your live comments coming.
Ah,
Thanks for joining us. You're with Mayor Rudy Giuliani, watching Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. Comment below. I will be reading the best comments and any questions you may have for the mayor regarding baseball. And we'll read some of those during the commercial break.
so Verlander, pitched last night, and there's nobody much better than Verlander in the playoffs, right? He might have the records. I'm not sure. If he doesn't, he's real close. There was a high strike swung at by Torres, and he missed. So we have lefty against righty here. Still only one out. Counts 3-2. Another big 3-2 count, but so far no damage done with any of these 3-2 counts, except the pitch count, which I don't know. In the case of the Astros, may not mean that much because they have such a good bullpen. There's one hit to the right side and out of play. Torres is looking at a 130 average in this playoffs. I mean wow, not The Yankees have had very weak hitting in the playoffs against the one game against the Astros. This one is hit up very, very high toward right field. It's quite deep, but it's going to be caught by the right fielder. It needed a little more. It was to the opposite field, and it sort of sliced back toward the right fielder, who really caught it pretty easily. That continues. Well, it was hit very high and very far now that I'm looking at it, but not enough. I'd say he got to about 3 feet of the fence. There's another high fly ball. No. That actually, they just replayed the first. They just replayed the one before. So he's out again. But that doesn't count for 3 outs. It's still only 2. So now we have Donaldson at the plate. Let's see what Donaldson's batting here. He's batting 211. He's batting 211 with no home runs. During the season, he batted 222 with 15 home runs. That was in there for a strike. So that's 2 balls, 1 strike on the right-handed hitting Donaldson. He hits that ball to the opposite field, but foul. So now we've got a 2-2 count. We got 2 out. We haven't anything close to a base runner yet. All bases are now perfectly clean. Nobody's touched them, except maybe the infielders in practice. Not the objective in baseball. The objective is to start touching those bases. So here comes the pitch. And it's low, but it's driven to right field. I think he's going to hold him to a single.
No.
Although Donaldson made it into second. No, I'm surprised. Don't think of Donaldson as having that kind of speed. He went in standing up, however. Nice hustle by Donaldson, and with 2 out, that's a big. It was worth the chance with 2 outs, because now a single more than likely get to your run. Whereas if you're on first, the best a single's going to do is put you on third. So if the game ends up being a one-run game, we'll go look back at this. And they score. So now we have the catcher, who hasn't played very much. So I don't know if he even has a batting average. 0-0-0, but I'm not sure how much Hikiyoshi has played. This is Kyle Hikiyoshi. He is, as you would imagine, with the batting averages that we're looking at. The season one with 227 with 10 home runs. 10 home runs is not bad since he's not a full-time player. So he's got some power. But basically, he's there for his defense. That was a pitch over the middle. It was a sinker, but it really sunk. Is that the correct word? That one's high, and Higayoshi fouls it off to the right side. No, this is the Yankees have got to take advantage when they have runners in scoring position, because they have not been terribly explosive yet against the Astros. And the Astros, as I said, have a bullpen that's second to none. So now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Valdez bounced that one on the plate, actually. Higayoshi has a bat, the handle of which is red. So if he turns out someday to be a star, lots of kids will have red-handled bats. Just like many of them used to imitate Derek Jeter and constantly put their hands up at the umpire. And then Little League umpires used to say, "What the hell are you doing that for?" So he struck him out. So we have another 1-2-3 inning. So, I'm sorry, we have a 1-2-3-4 inning because the Yankees got a hit stretched into a double by Donaldson. So it is no runs, 1 hit, no errors by the Yankees, no runs, no hits, no errors by the Astros coming up in the second inning.
And Mayor, we have an active live chat on your YouTube channel with over 100 people live chatting. And we'd like to we have some questions from folks.
Go ahead. I'd
Some
love
folks
to
have some
answer.
shout outs. So let's go through. Here's an interesting one, and it kind of regards the bedrock under Manhattan. This individual is asking, is it true that there's an unusual large quartz deposit?
Absolutely. It's the reason we have the great skyscrapers and why they're so safe. That bedrock was discovered in maybe before, but certainly by the 19th century late, we were very well aware of it. And why we're a man-made, human-made canyon is because of that bedrock.
Zach Wheeler is asking for a shout out to Adam Skikluna from Brisbane and Nikki Mara from Adelaide.
Adam Sekula and Nikki who?
Adam Skikluna
Let me
from
see. I can maybe I can
right there.
Show me where it is here.
Australia. Yes, the yellow.
From Australia, from Zach Wheeler. Can I get a hi to Adam Skikuna or Skikunia from Brisbane and Nikki Mara from
Adelaide.
Tell them where your travels in Australia.
Well, I've been to Australia, you should know, 4 or 5 times, including once when I spent about 8-9 days there and went to every city but one. I can't remember which one I missed, but I've been all over Australia. Love it. Love Australia. Love playing golf there. Got my plastic, my absolutely beautiful plastic tees that I use when I play golf, which I once gave to Secretary Ben Carson. I saw Ben last night, and he reminded me that he still has my plastic tees from Australia.
Here's a question, Mayor. Was there drug testing during Babe Ruth's era?
First of all, I don't know if they had there should have been alcohol testing during Babe Ruth's era. I think Babe would have failed every night. Look, there's a difference between what we don't know and what we do know. We can't eliminate people from the Hall of Fame because we think maybe, but without any proof, they did something. And alcohol has never been shown to be performance enhancing. Steroids. I mean, if the guy was taking like cocaine or something else, something illegal, it would be there's one out of fly ball to the judge. It'd be one thing, but they were specifically taking drugs so that they could artificially play better, and they're being compared to players who didn't. So the fairness or unfairness is not to Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth doesn't need any more accolades than he already has. The unfairness is to the young new ball players who are playing by rules where they don't use performance-enhancing drugs. How are they going to reach 70 home runs? I mean, in the history of baseball, 130 years, no one's ever hit without jacking themselves up more than 63 home runs. And there are only 3 people who hit 60. Now, that's got to tell you something about what the human capacity is. Also has to tell you something when you look at Sosa, who was a fairly small man, who becomes a big man, or even the home run king, who wasn't a home run hitter. Bonds was a great ball player. Guy didn't have that much power until he started juicing himself up and started getting muscles that he never had before. I mean, I saw some of these guys in the bullpen. It was ridiculous. They'd have these big giant body and little skinny legs. I mean, their legs look like little stick poles. And no wonder they got injured so much. So don't give me this stuff about steroids. They disgrace baseball. And they did something horrible. I mean, they messed up the records of baseball. And they made it entirely impossible for somebody to honestly beat those records. So my goodness, I mean, I don't know what the commissioner needs to take those records, put them in a special corner and say, that was a special era. The guys were confused, upset, whatever. I don't know what you want to say about them. I'd consider putting them in the Hall of Fame, but not the records. McGuire and particularly and Bonds were Hall of Fame players without the necessity of using that crap. And it's a shame that they did. And I would say the same thing about the Yankees who did it, including A-Rod. No reason for A-Rod to... A-Rod hit 50 home runs before he ever started using any of that garbage. Why they did it? Should they be penalized and kept out of the Hall of Fame? No. Assuming you can evaluate the rest of their career. And certainly with A-Rod and McGuire and Bonds, yes. Sosa, I'd have to take a better look at. I mean, there was a guy who really wasn't a home run hitter, and all of a sudden he's knocking out one after another. But he was a good ball player. Was he Hall of Fame without the illegal substances? Close call. But I think they have it reversed. I mean, they're keeping him out of the Hall of Fame, but they're keeping the records. Well, if they're being kept out of the Hall of Fame because they used drug enhancements, why do they have the records? I don't get it. It's like reversed. You can evaluate the rest of their career without it, but the thing they did wrong was use drugs, and that's what created the records. So the records are invalid. But maybe they'll make me commissioner, and we can straighten it off.
We can save this for the next break, Mayor. But Eugene is asking for a Little League story from your days.
We will do one, but we got a man on first right now, which I am not particularly happy about. That's Kyle Tucker. He's on there as a result of a walk. Alex Bregman has already flied out to right fielder Aaron Judge for 1 out. And we have Gurriel at the plate, who's batting a big 368 for the series with 2 home runs. So we got a hitter at the plate, and we've got only 1 out. And we got a man running, but it's not going to do any good because Uriel fouled the ball off. So it could have been an option play, but that could have been an old-fashioned hit and run. Because Gurriel didn't hesitate to hit. I mean, he really got ahead of that ball. Wow. they just showed an old home run of his, which of course confuses the living daylights out of you when you see it because you think it might be a current one. But this guy's a pull hitter for sure, and he's having a hell of a series. I mean, that's 368 and two. Not even a third game. So 2 home. That's postseason actually. 368 for the postseason and 2 home runs. It's a good postseason. Big. Another fly. Well, actually, he fouled that one back. It looked like, that's one of those when they go straight back like that. That's one of those that they miss by just inches. I could have gone right out of here. You can see Boone chewing on something. If it's tobacco or gum, I don't know, but he's chewing on something.
Scott McClish says this is an awesome way to watch a Yankees playoff game.
There he goes again. But once again, Uriel swings and probably took a stolen base away from Tucker. I think Tucker had that base stolen. I'd have to take a better look at it. I think he swung at a strike, though, which is, in fairness. So in this at bat, Severino's not been below 95 miles an hour. So he's throwing the ball big time. I remember the other day when he pitched, he was throwing faster at the end than at the beginning, which is a great, great thing for a pitcher to do. That's outside, so now it's a 3-2 count. Unfortunately for the Astros, they weren't running on that one. That'd have been a tough one for Higayoshi to get the guy out at second since it was low and he was sort of off balance. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner's going to go for sure. Ground ball, that's through the middle. Actually, it's in between the third baseman and the shortstop, which holds the runner at second, but they have 2 on. Now, I wouldn't get panicked about this since within inches, that was a double play ball. The only thing that might have stopped the double play was the jump. See, it looks like he misses it by, just an inch or something, but he missed it. Don't know if he'd have gotten anybody out had he reached it. He'd have been on his, he'd be on his face. That's ball 1. So Severino has gotten himself in trouble. He didn't pitch that badly, but he is in trouble. He's got 2 men on. He's only got 1 man out. He's got Diaz at the plate, who has an 091 average, no home runs, and he's now he's got an even count of 1-1. Of course, what he desperately needs, that as well as I do, is a ground ball double play. I would think behind that severe look of Severino on the mound, that's what he's dreaming about. Maybe even praying for, but rather than doing that, he just threw the ball outside. It wasn't even a particularly good fake pitch.
Some folks in the comment section say this pitcher needs to get ahead of batters.
Always important, particularly with a team that has so many good hitters like this. This is a very aggressive hitting team. So, I mean, he's at 29 pitches in 2 innings. If you can get out of the inning, if you can get a double play, it would be magic. That would solve all his problems, including pitch count. He's at 2-2. That's another foul ball. The interesting thing is a lot of foul balls, and he's throwing the ball hard. which means they're kind of catching up to the ball. He's not throwing it past them, which he does quite a bit. I mean, a lot of strikeouts the other night. So it just might not be moving the way it usually does. Otherwise, don't know that you'd have this many foul balls. They're having no trouble fouling the ball off. They are having trouble hitting it. There's a ground ball, but it's hit foul again. This is a very good at bat from the point of view of the hitter, because he's hanging in there and he's making Severino work. Which, every time he's got to throw another pitch with a man in scoring position, it's risky. Well, that was strike 3, and Higayoshi threw very, very fast down to first base. Rizzo blocked it. I mean, it was a little bit low and in the dirt. Don't know that it was a particularly smart throw, because I don't know that there was that much a lead off of. Oh, yes, there was. There was a big lead, but the throw was a bad throw. Would they have gotten him with a good throw? Possibly. Was a big enough lead so that throw was more worth it than I thought, since watching the TV, I can't see the lead the guy's taken off first. That was a big lead. Almost doubled them up had it been a perfect throw, as opposed to one that bounced sort of near the shin of the runner. There also was a certain degree of interference by the batter, who was walking off the plate, but it was totally unintentional. So now we've got our 2 outs that we've been now we got the 2 outs we've been hoping for. We've got our 2 outs that we've been waiting for here. And we got 2 strikes. We got McCormick at the plate. We got Severino on the mound, who's working hard here. That ball's hit very, very high. Severino caught it. Very nice, Severino. It would have been tough for the catcher, because it was about 1/3 of the way to the mound, and the catcher would have to have turned around and go find it. But normally the catcher makes that play. Nobody on the team likes to see a pitcher field it. I'm telling you, the Yankee outfielders are saying to themselves, thank God. Because the fielders never think the pitcher can catch a pop-up. The general rule in baseball is, the catcher makes that play. But that would have been a very, very tough play for the catcher, because it was high, which was helpful because he had a little time. But it was about 1/3 of the way to the mound, and Severino was coming in, the catcher was going out, and they could have easily have had a collision, and they're both extraordinary. They're both big men. Severino's a really big guy. Would have been an unfortunate collision if it took place. So we have any more questions?
Yes.
From our friends?
We have a lot of questions here in the YouTube comment section. Keep them coming. This is more of a statement.
Mr. Mayor, my cousin was Thurman Munson. What do you think about his ball playing abilities? What do I think? He was one of my heroes. I virtually, loved Thurman Munson. Thurman Munson was, remember when they asked me about Pete Rose? He was the Yankees' Pete Rose, except he didn't gamble. He had more power. He was a better defensive player than Pete. He was a good defensive player, but he played every position. And he played it well, but Munson was a superb catcher. And beyond just being a superb catcher, he's a great handler of pitchers. Now you could just go ask Guidry that, or Catfish Hunter. or any of the Yankee greats of the 70s.
A couple people have asked, what is your favorite Yankees team?
Oh, they always ask me that, and I have a hard time with that. I mean, if we're talking about favorite team that I got to see and root for, then it becomes very, very difficult. I would have to say it's the Joe Torre, Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, and Mariano Rivera Yankees. I would say that's it. Four World Series. What was it? 14 World Series wins in a row. Great team play that you want children in Little League to watch and run out every pitch, play for the team. But then there were the 50s Yankees. Now, I was a little boy. Now, they won 5 World Series in a row. And that's DiMaggio to Mantle. Whoa. And then there's the team we're talking about with Munson, which although it had only 2 World Series, it sure was an exciting team. Munson, Reggie, Catfish Hunter, Guidry, Greg Nettles, Bucky Dent, very popular in Boston, Bucky Dent. Maria's not sitting here right now, but if I said that, she'd probably get indigestion. Even though they now win, it's still freaking Bucky Dent. In New England, they don't use the bad word, that F word. They always say freaking. Now, I don't know what the difference is if you say that. I mean, we all know what you're trying to say.
Someone asked
That's
if
a
they're
big
not...
New England thing. The freaking Bucky Dent. All he did was what he's supposed to do for his team. Hit a home run. I mean, Maria just walked back in and she's putting her tongue out at me. Isn't that what they call Bucky Dent in New England? Freaking Bucky Dent?
Yeah, freaking is right.
Yeah. See, there you go. Didn't you think he was a good-looking guy, like kind of cute? And
No.
all the girls liked him. Man, he was a hell of a shortstop, too. Best leadoff hitter.
You know I have a warmer winter blanket for that one.
I'm going to say maybe the best leadoff hitter the Yankees ever had. Person to ask about that is Derek Jeter, who batted leadoff in second. There's a fly ball. He's going a long way for it, but the center fielder made the catch. There's 1 out on the Yankees, who have produced nothing so far. And, I mean, the Astros have threatened more and better than the Yankees, but so far it's still 0-0. Valdez still on the mound for them with 41 pitchers in the 3rd inning. And on the mound for the Yankees is Severino, who's pitching, once again, a good game. In trouble, but pitching out of it. And it's hard to describe the trouble. It doesn't come really from terrible position. No. Boy, did they have him played right. Now, that was a swing right up the middle. That was right up the middle. And second baseman was right up the middle. Altuve was right there. They're saying, the announcers here on TV are saying it was a great throw by Altuve. Didn't have to make a great throw. He was right there. He was right there. Now we have our new number 1 hitter. Remember we were talking about Bucky Dent as a leadoff hitter. I'm gonna actually say Knobloch may have been the best before he went a little wacky. So Bader is at the plate. There's 2 outs. The Yankees have not really produced very much. Bader held up. No, he didn't. He went around on that. It was a pitch in the dirt that unfortunately Bader was fooled by and swung at. Valdez has pitched not a flawless game, but pretty close to it. That should be no. He called that a strike. It's going to say that should have been an inside. Should have been an inside ball. So the crowd in Houston with their orange, whatever those things are, rags, are well, they're not actually as excited as they usually are. Well, now they are, since Beta just swung and missed, and now we see some of the Astro fans. They've got newspaper headlines out. They've got all kinds of things out. I just would like to remind them the game is nothing, but no runs, one hit, no errors for the Yankees. No runs, one hit, no errors for the Astros. So let's take a look over here. We have a couple more.
More comments.
We got a couple more here.
Somebody wants your opinion on
What about Roger Clemens and Andy Pettit pitching records for the Yankees? They were juiced too. Yes, they were. They shouldn't be able to have any records that foreclose other pitchers. Pettit, I'm not sure of, because Pettit was in a situation where it was very, very short use for an injury that was a little foggy, but hardly long-term use in the case of Pettit. Clemens is more, and therefore, sorry, he's just not going to. He just shouldn't have the pitching record in baseball. Should he be in the Hall of Fame, Clemens? 100%. Should McGuire? Yes.
With the Red Sox uniform.
He was a great pitcher with the Red Sox. In fact, Clemens could be in the Hall of Fame just based on his pitching for the Red Sox before he went to Toronto. And he certainly, I don't think, was juicing with the Red Sox. Don't know if he started in Toronto or with the Yankees. But, there was a period of time in which Maria says it was with the Yankees. I doubt it. Yankees inherited that from the Oakland A's. I mean, that's where it started with Oakland. Started out there in like 1988, 1989, because they all wanted to be weightlifters. I don't think weightlifting helps you all that much as a baseball player, by the way, but there's a whole other discussion there. I mean, weight training can help you, but weightlifting.
Chipper Jones. Somebody wants your thought. They say Chipper Jones is an underrated player.
Yeah, I'd say that's true. Chipper Jones was a great third baseman. The team that he led, I don't know how often they won the Eastern Division. We sort of owned them, so I feel very, very easy on the Atlanta Braves, since we played 2 World Series against them, and we won 8 games and they won 2. In fact, they won the first 2 games and then they weren't heard from again. And we just wiped them out 4 in a row twice. But I mean, I'm just saying that because I'm a Yankee fan and being nasty. But Chipper Jones was a great player. There's no question about Hall of Fame player. No question about it. And as far as I know, no issue with regard to any illegal substances or conducted himself as a complete, perfect gentleman. Credit to baseball.
Ken Griffey Jr. Was he on the juice?
Don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not an expert on everybody who was or wasn't. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe somebody else does, or maybe somebody else thinks they do. There's also the think you do. The question was Poppy.
No!
There you go. You see what Maria said? Red Sox fan.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I'm
People say he was. People say he wasn't. Yeah, well, Red Sox fans say he wasn't. Other people say he might have been.
jealous.
I'm not jealous of Poppy. I love
No,
Poppy.
you're not.
I love A-Rod, but what am I going to do? Say he wasn't on the juice when he was?
XXX says, yes, Poppy did HGH.
Oh,
No, I mean, but who are you? I don't know. Are you a reliable source? I mean, we can't do this. We got to,
Never mind.
you got to have proof that they did it.
HCH. HCG.
Well, we just hit a. This is not a good way to put a man on base. We just hit the catcher. the catcher batting for the Astros. Nobody's going out there to look at it because he's a tough guy. He doesn't want anybody to come out. There's a strike right over the middle of the plate. It looked like a sinker to me. Mr. Altuve is now at the plate looking for his first hit, which always makes me nervous. I mean, this guy's going to eventually hit. Strike two. Oh, no. Don't get upset. I know what's going on, Altuve. You're upset. You're 0-0-0. That was a I think that was a strike. It seemed to me it was right on the box. It's your frustration. And you know this better than I do, but watching the way the Yankees are setting up and the way you're fouling the ball off and not covering a strike zone, looks like they think they can get you out on the outside corner. Well, this guy was the most valuable player. He's about as good a hitter as there is in baseball. But that could be strike three. But I think the umpire's afraid to call it because Altuve got angry at the other one. I mean, there's a little psychology to this. Billy Martin used to say that, if I argue, maybe I'll get the next one. He argued all the time. Well, Altuve might have gotten that one because he complained about the earlier one. Although I think that was a ball. Could have been called a strike, though. Those close ones, one ball, two strikes. Well, that's definitely outside, 2-2. But, I mean, there's no question the Yankees think they can get him out on the outside corner. Every pitch by Severino, and there have been 4 of them, I think every pitch. I'm going to take a look here. Yeah, every pitch has been at the outside corner. One a really perfect strike, the other a questionable strike. Questionable ball and an absolute ball. So that's 2-2. See if they don't. He just struck him out, and where did he strike him out? On the outside corner. Now I know I don't know. I shouldn't be giving advice to the Astros, but he also looks like he's standing. I wish they would show him at the plate again. He looks like he's standing too far away from the plate. He's a short guy, doesn't have long arms. You see him standing away from the plate like that. Told you I was a catcher, right? I used to watch where they stood. I'd go for the outside corner. So we have Pena at the plate. Now, Pena is standing quite a bit closer to the plate than Altuve was. Pena's got to be taller. He just hit a single to center field, and
2 on base.
Bader has gotten it. Now there are 2 on, and the guy hit and the single, and again only 1 out. So Severino has put himself in trouble again, which really makes the pitch count even more significant, because a pitch count when there's no trouble, I don't even know how much you count it, but if you're constantly pitching in trouble, it wears you. I'm sorry, whoever you are, it wears you down. Well, he's got himself in trouble this time by giving up a single to Pena. And he's got Jordan Alvarez up now. Alvarez is batting .222 for the series. He's got 2 home runs, which is nice, and he's batted .306 during the season.
Careful of your face. You have some cold ice cream.
That was a strike right over the middle of the plate. No balls, 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. There were 2 men on, which 1 hit, 1 single.
Scott says to be careful here with this guy, this batter.
This guy's a home run hitter, and he's a hitter. That was a big swing that led to strike 2, but if he made contact with that ball was moving. Now, I'm looking at those flags, Ted. I'd say they're blowing out.
Those pants are blowing on that umpire.
I think they're blowing out. which means you get that ball up in the air. Something that wind's going to help you. I'd keep the ball low here. Now, that was up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You loft the ball in the air, it's going to make a home run easier, I think, if I'm looking at those flags correctly. There's a ground ball. They go to second. They go back to first. They don't get the double play, but they get the lead runner, which
No. There's somebody on third.
which is, which so. But now there are 2 out with men at first and third. I would say that without doubt. I'm just fixing up this one screen here. Okay, good.
So somebody on first and third now.
First and third, but they're 2 out. So that was a very smart play by Rizzo in going after the middle runner, because now a single will give up a run, not 2. It was really, I guess I shouldn't say it was all that smart, because it was the only option he had. He was playing off the base. So here's another big out. These are all big outs, and I'm telling you, it's going to take a toll on Severino. Don't like to say that, but I just want to be honest. Hit high and out of play. So now it's no balls, 1 strike.
Snoopy is also pointing out the wind.
Yeah,
A lot of wind down there.
Snoopy, do you think the wind is blowing out? I think it is. It looks that way. I'm judging. All I can see are the pants of the umpire, and I looked at the flags before, and they look like they're blowing out. They're blowing out toward right field, which means you try to hit to the opposite field here. If you're if you're looking for a home run, here you should just be looking for a single to get that first run in.
Scott says it's blowing out to the right.
Yeah, it's right field, to right field. Yep. Like to see Rizzo get a shot at that if we can get out of this inning. That's a strike. That one almost looked like a backdoor slider. Way it came back over the plate. Let's look at it again. That was an interesting pitch. Oh, look at that. Absolutely. Only 89 miles an hour. Whoa. Now that was a pitch. 1 ball. 2 strikes. The iconic Astro at the plate. Bregman. Big pitch. Big out. Big hit. And unfortunately, the iconic Astro hits a gigantic home run to left field with 2 men on base, which makes it a 3-0 ball game, which is not at all good.
They say that pitch was 89 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a look at the pitch again. Now, we said the wind was going to right field, but this was hit to left, but it was a monster. I mean, he hit it. You knew it was gone the minute he hit it. It was one of those absolute, definite home runs. Let's look at it. It didn't move. The ball didn't move. So I don't know exactly what it was supposed to be, but it didn't move, so it ended up being a slow fastball.
Scott points out that thing was almost right down the middle of the plate.
Who's going to catch this? Well, the Yankees caught it, but they are now in a hole at 3-0, and we will now take our mandatory break. I'll explain sometime why we take a mandatory break. But we're commenting. We're not doing a play-by-play. But now we're going to be back in about 10 minutes. So you hold your questions, and we're going to load up some of these questions, and we'll start answering them. And then you're going to tell me how the Yankees come back here. Hopefully by the time I come back with you, it's 3-3. Okay? So we're going to put it off for a little bit.
Thanks for joining us on our various streaming platforms, including right here on YouTube. Please check back in about 10 minutes.
10 to
All of
15
you have
minutes.
been
Let's see
on
what
here
time.
have been great. Stick with us. We'll be back on, and we'll be interacting with all of you. We love receiving these comments, and the mayor wants to make sure he
So
gets
it's
to as many of them
8:45.
as possible.
8:45. You come back at a little before, about 10 to 9, about 5 to 9, and we'll be all set.